You are in general, Dave. In general,
No,
but
it's just
let's check if we're live, mate, because we
yeah.
should have had
I
the.
think we are live, mate. It's just you know, just feeling a little horny today is all I can say, mate. That's
Well, let's wait for a few people to come in. Let's have a little look and just checking we're live. If you can see us on live, do say hello. Do give us a little comment, I think, as well. Let's have a little look. Just check in. We are live. Wow, Leah was organised today. She actually had a link saved for the comments. Look at that. She's right in there.
yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, I can see where we're live. So yeah, welcome everybody. The final Tuesday tune-in of
Ever?
2021.
Oh, do you remember I did that
Don't
once
tell them
before, and
that.
everyone? Do you remember I did that before, and everyone panicked?
I do remember that. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah,
it went down too well, Dave. Not sure it went down too well, but yeah, today we thought we do a little bit of a we're not far away from Christmas now. We want to do a little stocking fillers kind of episode. We did one similar sort of last year, and we know a lot of people loved it, and they said,
yeah,
what things could you buy in the build up to Christmas, or you can put in your stocking that you need for a high altitude trip. We thought, well, let's chat about it. We've some things are the same, some things a little bit different. We got a
yeah.
few questionable ones here that we might not take. Maybe Dave will take. Maybe I wouldn't take. Yeah, so we're gonna delve deep into the stockings today,
Yeah.
and then sort of really kind of go through the year. Really, it's been mad. The 2021 has been a year that we certainly thought that we'd probably get back to more mountains than we have done. But that being said, we've also had lots and lots of huge positives this year, and we want to talk about them as well because if you've been around us for any length of time, you know that we always err on the positivity spectrum rather than the other one. Even though it's been a challenging year, it's also been good in some ways. So yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But Dave, right, mate, what's the weather like in Wales?
It's raining, dear.
Can't you tell we practiced that one?
It is, yeah.
It wasn't that way around, was it?
It wasn't that way around. You caught me off guard. I was supposed to ask you. Remember? Actually, we
Thought you
don't want to give away too much of this, but no, yeah, it's great. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Not entirely certain the antlers are going to last the entire show. Quite annoying to wear.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Wait. But it's actually a game. Look, you ready? Ready? Try. Ready? No, missed.
Okay.
Anyone guess one on? Missed.
Wow.
Can Laura get one? Missed. Ready, Rosie? And oh,
that was close.
That was the closest ever. But yeah.
I think you are looking a bit deflated today, Dave.
Yeah,
be honest.
Well, I am looking a bit deflated. Yeah, like I said, I woke up a little horny, and now yeah, I'm
Wow. Wow. We never like a good joke to get in the way of professionalism, Dave, do we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Well, look, sorry for the chaotic start to the episode, but yeah, we obviously it's Christmas, and we love a bit of Christmas spirit here at EverTrek HQ. We also like to throw things at Dave, so this is perfect for us because we can
it works.
Put a stick of antlers on him. We can throw things at him. So great.
Fee, do you want to be the antler now?
Yeah. Well, Dave, I'm going to minimize this, although the beauty of Everest is there, and I love that picture of Everest. We're going to bring it so it's a little bit closer to us. Here we go. Back to status quo here.
Bring us in.
But right, mate. So, give us a lowdown on today, then, Dave, about what's in your stocking.
Well, I mean, so yeah, we decided we were going to do because I say we always do this, but there hasn't been that many Christmas episodes really. But this is our second, and I think we did stocking fillers before, and we thought we'd just come up with some little funny ideas. But we know you guys are incredibly experienced, so we've got a little bit of a mix here of stuff that I will definitely take, and stuff Andy's passed me that I'm not entirely sure I would take. Yeah, I have a collection of strange things on my desk right now, to be honest. But yeah, I suppose just realised what Dave is wearing is I haven't had a small bit of wee when laughing.
Wow,
Joel, my friend, that is exactly why.
That's a great bit of information there, mate. That is,
yeah.
Joel, honestly, you must be the. I can't wait to actually meet you, Joel, because you seem some of your comments this year, mate, have been legendary, been brilliant. And this goes to everyone as well. Thanks so much for sticking with us this year. I know it's been a challenging year, but we've had. I think looking at the numbers, we had over. I think it was in the last 12 months, we had almost 400,000 views on these lives. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's been which is nuts. And thanks for joining us and being part of the community, because we always like to think, EverTrek obviously is a adventure travel company, but it's your company really. If you're part of the community, it's as much yours as it is ours. You're the people that go on these trips and experience these things. And I like to think that the EverTrek's kind of a thing, in terms of going on a trip and having that, in terms of the community side of things. And it wouldn't be, if no one turned up to these things, it wouldn't be the same, right? So we hope they still a little bit of valued, even with humor sort of sprinkled in. And we hope that they do add something to your week, and that you've enjoyed it this year. Because Dave, obviously this is our, I think, 87th episode. I think is. I
Wow.
think we're getting close to the 100 now, mate.
I mean, we've said it before, and I'll keep saying it, that it was amazing. We started this literally at the beginning of lockdown, just as something. It was to kind of keep in touch with you guys and to fill the time, and we thought that it would be a temporary thing. I think it's now a major feature of EverTrek as a company, and I think the Tune In Tuesday will live on forever. I think it's a case of like those late night American talk shows when me and Andy are too old to do it. They'll replace us with two younger Yetis, and we'll keep everything going. But no, it's been amazing, and it's been really positive. I loved it coming on here. Do you know what? I just had an idea, and I thought this is an idea I should have had about a week ago. We should do like a Tune In Tuesday awards for the EverTrekkers. Funniest comment,
we should.
most dedicated viewer, that type of thing. So we should do that.
Well, I think that certainly the furthest viewer that we've got actually is maybe a good competition. It's probably between Leah, who's in Australia, and who's in Hawaii, Dave? Who was it who was watching us all?
Oh, it's Rachel.
Rachel, of course.
Rachel's in Hawaii, yeah.
That's I think there's a joint award, and maybe I need to get the measuring tape out. But at the furthest,
yeah. So who's listening from the furthest away? Yeah,
I love Brian's comment. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, figuratively, I can't say the word now, but yeah. Right, it is, mate. It is.
Yeah, it's one of those, Bri, where of course you're a part of the company, just not officially in any capacity. The word, but I think it's safe to say it wouldn't be the same without Bri. From the moment I met Brian on a training weekend, he sort of cemented himself in my memory. I think the biggest thing is when he ran up to me really excited saying, "Dave, look at this picture I took." And it was him in his pants doing this right by the EverTrek, and I think that was day one. That was day one.
And it's gone downhill ever since.
Yeah.
No, only kidding. It's been great. No, and Bri, you've done so much for EverTrek as a company, mate. The fundraising you did, and I know a lot of EverTrekkers did. I know I'm talking about Bri now, but as an individual, you've done fantastic, and a real EverTrekker, mate. And thanks so much. And thanks so much for draining the bar as well at Aloft.
They're still recovering, I think. But it's amazing though, just that you guys as a community, what you've done this year. When it comes to like supporting the guides out there, it made a massive difference. A lot of people, they see the pictures and it's great publicity, and we like to see it and stuff like that of Anuj and the food parcels and the money. But actually, I've had private conversations with Anuj who has said like, no, honestly, Dave, it's not like, aside from the publicity and all the goodwill, people's rents have been paid. They haven't lost homes. They've kept their jobs. They've got food, and the food doesn't just feed them as a guide. It feeds their wives, their children, their parents who they look after in Nepal. It was wide reaching and made a massive difference. And the guides and all the team, they talk about it, and they're really appreciative. And to think that from their perspective, it's like, they're just going about their daily life. That's life in Nepal. And then these people that perhaps they've never met, people that are yet to go on trips, have such great affection for them that give their hard-earned cash. It was really one of my probably personal highlights, I think, of the year.
Same here.
Was watching you guys sort of like band together and Strides for Guides and the jackets and all the other things that you guys do. And even the people that have just emailed in, saying, "Can I send some money?" It's really nice. And we talked about this, but we had Fee on the Tuesday tune-in where we talked about charity and stuff like that. And I think it's a difficult time for people to think about actually looking after others when there's so much going on their own doorstep. So for people to do that was really great.
Yeah, exactly. Bang on, Dave. Bang on. No, that's again we talk about why you're a part of EverTrek as much as anyone is because of things like that. That's not I'd say I don't know what normal company is, but yeah, that's not normal. For you guys to do that is amazing.
Yeah.
And we really, really appreciate and value our community, which is why we continue to do this. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. But right, Dave, we may as well start because I know we got a few questions that come in, but let's start with the let's fill the boots. What's in the stockings. I tell you what, because you were so fantastic, and because I did land you in it with that joke.
It was a classic joke, mate. Classic joke.
Sorry.
Someone spotted Penny. Penny, come here.
Penny's back. Penny is back.
We're gonna put Penny the EverDog on TV. Come here. Come here.
She's been on a few times.
Come here. Come here. There you go. She's right. There's Penny.
There she is.
Just
gorgeous,
back from her walk.
She looks like she needs a bath.
You're gonna yeah, she's a bit, I'll be honest, she's a bit wet. But a bit slobber on the face. That's normal,
she's probably seen me in the room.
There you go.
She's like, right, I want some food. Right, Dave. So I didn't expect you to pull Penny out of your stocking.
That's my first stocking filler is Penny the EverDog.
Brilliant. Well, I want to start with I'll try and hand you something now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hand you. Let's have a look. If I can hand you, let's have a look.
Which way does it work? It's
I'm going to hand you this.
Okay, so then I'm going to lean this way.
It's something you put on your head.
Seamless. So first one is the hat.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Dan, your one's a little bit better than mine. I should have passed it to you because this is just a branded hat that I bought, but this is like the Sherpa hat. But Andy, you've got a special one, right? Which is?
This is special. This is the one I bought in January 26th, 2016, because it's got Everest Base Camp on it. Yeah, and I'd say stocking fillers. This is one I bought in Namche Bazaar, and it's quite cool. It's one of my warmest, made of yak wool. It's one of my warmest hats, my go-to if it's blimmin' cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially we're talking about hats here, and obviously important piece of kit if you're going on a high altitude trip. If you're going hiking, especially this time of year in the UK.
Yeah.
You need a good hat to go to. There's a multitude of them out there. You've got some really good makes like Rab. They make you've got North Face, the kind of bones one, which is good.
Yeah.
There's heaps of woolly hats out there, but we always like to. I think in a good stocking, in Christmas, that hat would go really well.
It's funny. I decided that I was going to buy one of those each time I went to EBC, and when I got back, neither the second or third or fourth ones meant as much as the first one. So I've given them away as gifts now. But that one that I've bought, which I should have bought in, is my one. Because you had that one. And what's funny, you described the shop to me. And we go back there every time now. And they know us. And they're so sweet and nice. I might not see them for 2-3 years. And then when you walk in, they're like, Namaste! And a hug. And last time I went in there, I had a masala tea. They made me a masala tea as I was shopping. I get all my souvenirs from that shop in Namche. Of course, there are other shops that are just as nice. This is just the one that I like. But
it's just up from the Irish pub, right? It's
just up from the Irish pub on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I forgot. I hope it's still there as well because I haven't been there.
They'll be there
for a couple of years. I hope that they've plowed through COVID and are still around. But yeah, we can't wait to go back there. And I know we've had some EverTrekkers who have been in this autumn. But yeah, I want to go and see if that lady there. I need to find out her name. We've been going there.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's lovely. Her and her husband, they're really nice. What I love about that place is it's where you get all like the yak wool stuff and stuff like that.
Proper original stuff.
Yeah, it's like I know for a fact that Jen, your wife, loves wool, doesn't she? Like wool products. So you always.
Well, I found out by buying a couple of things from that shop that. Maybe not the best stocking filler, but I re-gifted it to someone else.
Yeah, she despises them.
So
what else?
Interesting. I tell you what, this is something a bit different to the normal thing, but I'm going to talk about a book. And Dave, I know when you're on a trip or something, you can take. I know you listen to podcasts a lot. You got a lot of audio, but I know that lots of people take books. I've certainly taken some books on trips myself. And actually, I've got one here. This is a little bit. This is quite a. if you ever need a little bit of motivation, this is my it's like a little personal development book, but it's called The Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude, because I do believe a lot in yes attitude. And it's actually really good. You fill stuff in, but anyway, this is really good book. I think I've written there. What is your definition of a positive attitude? My definition of a positive attitude is always see the good in a situation. Just something I've written there, a bit random, but anyway, just about your book. What book have you got, Dave?
My book is one. I wonder if my old man even remembers this, because it must have been 20 years ago, because it was when Lord of the Rings came out.
Right.
He bought me this book for Christmas.
Wow.
And it was the first, as you can see, it's like the movie edition because it's got the movies there. But I don't need a first edition. I like this one. As you can see, it's pretty
Love that.
battered, and the pages are now like tea colored and stuff like that. But this was the book that kind of, because I've done loads of jobs in the past, loads and loads, and this is the one that probably led me to working for EverTrek, because I've read Lord of the Rings twice now. I'll be honest with you, right? Well, it's kind of more than twice, but like twice from cover to cover. The first time I missed some of the poems out because it's a bit heavy. Second time I went back and I had to read it again because I thought if I've missed bits, I can't honestly say that I've read it. But I read that, and then when I started working for one of the big name banks, we'll call it Boyd's BSB, and I met this chap that was on my team. And you just start chatting to people and wondering what they're into. And he told me a load of boring stuff about golf. And then he mentioned that he liked Lord of the Rings, and I loved Lord of the Rings as well. And from that moment on, I made a good friend, and it turned out to be this guy. I can never figure out which way this shows on screen. Is that pointing away?
The other way, yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be this guy. And we had a really good good chat about Lord of the Rings, and pretty much I think there probably hasn't been a week gone by where we haven't talked about it.
I know, yeah. Can't you tell we're geeks? Right?
I've even got Fee into it now. Like, Fee's really enjoying the book and loves the movies and stuff like that. So she's been really into that.
I love that. Karen
Byers said,
the race is on to find Dave an even fatter book.
And even, I'll be honest with you, this isn't really a good, this is what I mean. I wouldn't perhaps take that trek in, because there's no way I'm going to read all of it. But if I wanted to read one of them, I'd probably just bring one of my singles.
Brilliant.
But a fatter book,
It's great. That particular book was the book I took backpacking when I was 20, and I've read it several times. And because it took me 3 months to read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you've forgotten about the beginning, so you can start again. And it was it was great. What a book. But as well as that, anyway, we're talking about stocking fillers. We do like a good book. And this one, Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude, is a go-to if you want to kick up the backside.
I really like Andy McNaughton-Jones's comment. Something nobody reads the poems. I know, this is the thing. You get through to them and they're soft. And it's like, well done, Andy. Even halfway through, I was like, all right, I get it. I'll move on. But then when I got to the end, I kept telling people, oh, I've read Lord of the Rings. And then I realized, like, I couldn't honestly say I'd read every word. So I went back and read it, and I'll be honest, if anything, it lessened the experience. I think the poems are pretty hardcore.
That is brilliant.
Awesome book. And like I said, you never know, what bonds might be formed, by taking one of those books with you. Andy, what else have we got here? Because I've got some serious stuff. I tell you what, literally people were passing me stuff. So this is something that was passed to me by Ali. This is called Lucas's pawpaw ointment.
Wow, what is that?
Good question. When I asked her, it's actually made. It's from Australia, so Leah probably lives quite close there. Australia is quite small, right? And I've been reliably informed is for owies and boo-boos. If you hurt yourself or cut yourself, so quite handy to have that with you when you go trekking. This is amazing. I'll be honest.
Like, yes.
I have put some more effort into some of the other things. It's not just stuff people pass me, like this tub of glucosamine that Andy passed me and said I should talk about vitamins. But these rechargeable batteries that I have here.
Wow.
But this stuff actually is a pretty good thing, so that's why I've included it, because when you're away base camp and stuff like that, you always, you might get nicks and stuff like that, and when you're at altitude, stuff doesn't tend to heal. So looking after yourself like that is pretty good. So that's from 1590. That's Bow Desert Road, Acacia Ridge, Brisbane,
Oh, yeah.
Australia. So
Brilliant.
yeah,
Nice.
just down
Bit
the street
Vegas.
from just down the street from Leah.
Just down the street. Right, my turn then. And this is useful at altitude, definitely, is diorolite. If you've ever been been abroad and had a not so good food, or maybe just reactions to water can happen. Yeah, you might have a loose one or two, and certainly, especially at altitude, hydration is so important, isn't it? You know, as we always talk about, 9 times out of 10, someone's got an altitude issues is linked back to hydration. So yeah, if you have got a dodgy belly, Nepalese napalm, um, Dave
Ta-
Montezuma's Revenge, whatever it is.
Tanzanian Terror,
Yeah, whatever it is
Moroccan
you've got,
Mayhem.
get these down you if you are struggling, because obviously you need to replenish those. So
Yeah,
yeah, a few diarylites doesn't go amiss. Certainly pack them. If you go into Nepal, I know some people do get dicky belly. So yeah, definitely pack those.
yeah, happened to me. I've actually brought along something that's come up a couple of times in
Okay.
questions and stuff like that, both in email
Yeah.
and on here. And this is particularly relevant for those trips where you're going to be in a tent. I'm thinking Kilimanjaro is probably one of the most important. And it's something that just lives in my bag and I very rarely take it out. But it is, what sort of blow up mat do I use? I use this brand, which
Hey,
is
Thermarest.
the Thermarest. This is great. Like that weighs like nothing. It even compacts down even smaller if you want to push
Open
it
it up,
into
Dave. Open it
places.
up.
Oh yeah, why not? And the only thing I would say is that when you go to like high altitude with this thing, it's actually quite minging dirty because it's still got killy dust on
Okay.
it. But like you see, it's like this is brilliant, and I could blow it up, but I'm not going to because I can't be bothered. But it's the Thermarest Neo Air
Excellent.
X-Therm,
Very
made
good.
in Ireland. I nearly did an Irish accent, and I stopped myself at the last minute. Yeah, and as you can see, it's I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it's like quite dirty. It's got killy dust all over it.
No, it looks
But
pretty good. Yeah, looks killy colours.
yeah, but that is brilliant, and it's not just like a little blow up bed, which I highly recommend. It also acts as like an insulating layer between you, and it traps like a layer of warm air between you on the ground and stuff like that. So it does make a big difference between you
Great
and
stuff.
lying on a rock hard cold floor. I have to try and
That's
fold it.
so you use that on Killy, right? You've used that on Killy. You could
Yeah,
use
I've
that
used
on
that on
any
Killy.
camping trip that we
To
do.
be honest, it's always in my duffel bag anyway, regardless of
Yeah.
what trip I'm going on, because it takes up no space and it doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always in my duffel bag, but I only ever take it out. So if I'm camping in the UK, festivals, but also
Anyway,
on trips like Kilimanjaro, you're gonna need something like this. I would also perhaps recommend it for stuff like the Patagonia trip and stuff like that. Anything where you're gonna want like a high quality layer to keep you warm. So yeah, that is really good. It comes in its own little thing, yeah. So a little stuff case.
We're talking about stocking fillers. This one is a good one actually. I think I got this a few years back, and I've got the same one. So this is, and you can get loads of these, on Amazon, whatever. I think this was about £12. But this is my universal power adapter. So it's got like the UK, it's got continental Europe. It's got other ones from the US that you can actually because Nepal is a bit funny, but this does fit Nepal, which are these two. But anyway, yeah, that is brilliant. I think something that you need in your pack. If you want to charge things when you get to Kathmandu, same as if you're on Kili or got a Toubkal in Morocco. Wherever you go, these are great. And this is a company called Bez, B-E-Z. I don't know if you can see that. And I must have bought this 3 or 4 years ago. So I've used it many times when I go away. This is one. I do take a couple anyway, just in case you want to charge multiple things. Take the laptop. If you want to charge some of your power banks, the hotels. Very, very good product that is. A Bez multifunctional power adapter.
Yep.
That goes in my stocking.
Awesome. Speaking of power,
okay,
it wouldn't be sort of a Christmas stocking filler if I didn't bring up at least.
Let me hand it to you, Dave. Let me hand it to you.
Yeah. So we're going to do. So I'm going to go this way.
Okay, there we go.
Bring it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the. I'm sure you all know it. I talk about it a lot. It's the Anker power bank. They actually bought out a newer one now because there's a posh one that does like contactless charging and stuff like that. So removes the need to have a plug socket and stuff like that. But that, oh, look at that,
Yeah.
still got 3 bars on it from ages ago. I don't know when last time I
Wow,
used this.
Dave.
That just goes to show how good they
Highly
are. Like it.
charged.
This one is quite a big capacity, so this will last me like quite a few days of charging. And when you hear about me lending someone a dot, that's what I'm on about. When they want to charge and they want a dot, that's what they get. They get a dot off me. But yeah,
Brilliant.
these things are really good. One of the things that it does do is obviously I bring my electricity from home. I never have to worry about running out of power and stuff like that. Because when you think about all the stuff I need to keep charged, and you guys are probably the same, you got your telephone, your mobile telephone, your portable phone. You've got your watch. You might have a camera. And loads of other things as well. And it can get quite expensive, and power is particularly unreliable. Thinking for things like Kilimanjaro as well, there are little charging points on each of the camps as you go up, but they're not ideal. They don't always have power. They're quite expensive. It's not as convenient as going to bed and just plugging it in. You've got to make an effort to go over there and leave your phone. So yeah, that's really good. And to be honest, I've got quite a few of these now. But I've got so many, I just like if someone needs one, I usually just like lend it to them. That's it.
Exactly. Dave, Karen's asked a good question actually. What size is that power bank, and is there a wattage to it?
So this is the. Does it even tell me? I think it's the 26800 one. It's quite big.
Is it? Yeah, I think it might be the same one because they're usually the bigger ones, Karen.
Yeah. So this is the 26800. This is one of the oldest that I've had, so I can't really see the writing on the bottom. So I might need to get.
Did you need your glasses?
Yeah, well, I've got them on, but it's more put a torch on. That might help. Feel like a jeweler.
Take a screenshot of that one.
It's definitely got some ampage. Can't tell you, no idea. But all I know is it's the 26800 capacity one, so it's quite a large capacity. Initially, like these ones were considered for like charging laptops, but the more advanced laptops and stuff like that would probably drain that pretty quickly. But a smartphone and a watch and stuff like that, that's pretty good.
Karen says you a magnifying glass for your stocking, Dave?
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Pretty good. A monocle, maybe.
A monocle. I can see you with a monocle.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, next one is something you can use here in the UK, and maybe if in the depths of Africa and it gets a bit much. I've opened it up here, but you've got one of these, which is a microwave mosquito net. These are ones you can chuck over your head. So there we go. And it does look like a bit of a stocking, doesn't it? But that will, if you've ever been in Scotland hiking during certain times of the year, these are a godsend. Otherwise, your face will get eaten alive.
Yeah.
I'm talking to our fellows and ladies beyond the wall. Certainly, I've been in situations and it's absolutely like you can just feel the getting bitten big time. But yeah, that is actually really useful though if you're on especially in Tanzania. You can get a lot of flies, you can get a lot of mozzies. Just something you can use if needed. Thought that would be useful to have, and very light as well.
Yeah.
Have you got one of these, Dave?
You bought me one. Did you buy a couple of those ones?
I did. I have got a few of these.
Well,
for our Scotland trip.
That's what I'm relying on if I ever need one. Then is one of those. I don't actually own one myself. I did
compulsory
Ben Nevis
in Scotland, showing us.
Yeah. When I climbed Ben Nevis in July, it wasn't even a bad midgie season and not particularly a bad day. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be like a Facebook post worthy bad day for them to drive you insane. I got to the top of the CMD and I just put my bag down and there was no wind. It was a little quiet area. And when I looked down, my bag was crawling with them and so was I. I also made the mistake when I got back to the van because I slept in the back of the van. I opened the van up, turned the light on inside, shut the van, and I could hear them. You know that really high pitched thing. So I spent the rest of the night with a flip flop, basically just being really quite violent.
I can see you doing that. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I shouldn't have done in that situation was turn the light on. But it does lead me on. Honestly, you do get better at these live shows, don't you? It's so seamless. But yeah. This is my old faithful black diamond. It's it looks pretty brand new, I think, but it's quite battered and it's got lots of marks and scratches on it, which I think is good. Again,
Probably
this is
the
a
thongs. So she was taught what's a flip flop in Australia?
yeah, thong is something different here though. I wasn't slapping I wasn't using my thong to kill the
Wouldn't
mosquitoes.
surprise me, Dave. Wouldn't surprise.
Yeah, no, that was safely locked away in the glove box. But yeah, so this is just a battery powered one. Despite what I said about this, I always like to have batteries
Yeah,
because that's quite heavy, and if you take it somewhere cold, like summit of a
yeah.
mountain, it will lose power quite quickly, and I want to preserve it. So I've literally got a battery powered one. And I'll always have like a handful of batteries just in my pocket in case these things run out. I'll be honest, I don't know what batteries are in here, but it's recently started to die. But it lasted for a whole EBC trip. I forgot to change the batteries. This is another admission of stupidity. Before I went to Killy, so when I went to Killy, it had
Wow,
old
Dave.
batteries in there from EBC, and I realised, but there was nothing I could do about it at that point. So I just went to this, and it held out perfectly all the way up. It was great, and
Wow.
it might even turn on now. Oh, look at that!
You
That is
knew.
magical.
You knew. I'm just looking at a little one of your first friends to go to EBC has just joined the line, Dave.
Billy! Oh man, I miss Billy. How you doing,
Hey,
Billy
Billy.
boy? Oh yeah, we should have got a picture to load in, and of me and Billy.
I
Um,
know, Billy. We need to. But
it
he's
was the
one of our first ever trackers.
Billy man, I miss you. He was my yeah. Literally, if you go to my Facebook page, there's a picture of me and Billy on there. He's yeah, me and Billy. We were literally hiking. We were doing what we call the 10 miler in Wales, and I said to him, "Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of going to EBC." And then the next day he said, "Oh, I'll come with you." And then yeah, me and Billy
Really?
made it to Everest Base Camp again.
Good to see you too, Billy. Good to see you, mate. We'll have to catch up for a Guinness or two. 100%. I love what Dave said on here. The Scottish midgies, small as a pinhead, but teeth like crocodiles. I
Yeah,
love that. That is brilliant. Bang on, Dave. Bang on, mate.
and
Definitely.
I have sent you a picture of me and Billy if you could bring it up.
What have you sent it on?
Slack.
The old slackage. Okay.
Yeah, because that was one of the best, most awesome trips ever. Basically, me and Billy just head out there. We didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
And we were walking around Kathmandu, and both of us were like had our minds blown by Kathmandu.
So would
And
you like me to bring Billy onto the screen then, and you by the looks of it? This is your first time at base camp?
this is me and Billy the very first time we reached base camp
Wow. Okay. I'm
in
going to bring it in.
2016.
You're looking very very
Yeah,
warm. Nice. Oh, there's Billy on the left, right in
that's
the
Billy
orange.
on the left. Yeah, Billy on the left. He said he was hard to spot in that jacket. But yeah, that's me with the blue rab hat on.
Wow, 2016, mate.
And
It's
that's Billy.
flown
Yeah,
by.
so that was me. Literally, we didn't bring that flag. We turned up to get a picture, and there was a young lady there from Porthcawl who had the
Oh
Welsh
wow,
flag. So me and Billy
awesome.
said, "Oh, can we have a little lend of your flag?" And
Was this the
she was,
cardiologist?
yeah, you'll remember the ghost in Gorekshep story
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
that she actually got trapped, and Billy thought she was trapped in the toilet, and he ran up to get her. That was her. Yeah, that was her from Porthcawl. So
Great stuff. Good times, guys. Yeah, good. It's all about the memories, isn't it? And yeah, great to see. Yeah, great to see you on here, Bill. We'll have to catch up over Christmas, mate.
yeah,
Right,
definitely.
Dave. So you've gone for your head torch. Now, instead of something on your head, I got something that goes on the neck. Um, can you guess what it is?
Is it a Santa hat?
No, that doesn't go on the neck.
No. Okay. Is it something? Is it the EverTrek buff?
Yes, of course it is.
Yeah, the EverTrek buff's amazing. It actually, yeah, I remember the facts I like to make up about the EverTrek buff. That will keep you warm in -50 with a
Wow.
blowing gale. It's completely
I'm not sure
waterproof,
about that, but yeah, it's there's the
and
EverTrek buff.
none of these statements have been independently verified, but I can assure you that they're probably true. It's
Brilliant,
completely
brilliant.
waterproof.
Let me pop it on. Let's have a little look. Got to get it on, haven't we?
Yeah, it's full UV protection. It's bulletproof.
I think it is. Yeah. I hope it is. It's good protection. But
Yeah,
anyway, the old EverTrek buff. That is definitely, or any buff. I mean, you do get one of these with your planners at some point before you arrive on your trip. But yeah, with one of these, any buff. Oh, Shona, you've lost your buff. Ah, Shona, whatever would we do? Huh? We'll have
yeah.
to see what we can do. See if we can set one out. But what have you been feeding Dave today? Not much. He's. I think Andrew said. Sorry, Karen said, "What have you been all feeding Dave today, Dave? What have you had?"
I haven't really had much. I had 2 bits of toast.
You have, haven't you?
That's it. Yeah, I'm just fueled on Christmas cheer, to be honest with you.
You are, mate. You're
Just
fuel on
Christmas
it.
cheer, and that's about it. But yeah, those buffs are amazing. There's only, to be honest, 2 buffs that I think are actually worth having. The first
Yeah.
one, and the most important, obviously, the top tier Premier League buff is the EverTrek buff. However, if you haven't had an EverTrek buff, or if you're like Shona and you've lost one, I would head over to the Brecon Mountain Rescue website. And on the Brecon Mountain Rescue website, there is a shop, and on that shop, they sell buffs. And if you buy one of those buffs, I've been reliably assured they're almost as good as the EverTrek ones, but they do a lot of good otherwise. They help the Brecon people save other people who are in
They
Brecon.
do. I saw your post about that. Yeah, nice, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we actually got to. We actually visited Brecon Mountain Rescue last week. I don't think
Yeah.
we put much on social about it, but yeah, because of our commitment to support them, we paid them a little visit and we got to see a bit of a few of their things they do and some of the equipment. And yes, it kind of it was awesome, Dave, wasn't it? It was some of the things that I kind of didn't know, especially with the location data, which was amazing
Yeah, it is.
from
I'll
a
be
guy who loves
honest with you.
tech.
Yeah, like sometimes it's easy to think of mountain rescue as simply either one or two ways: A, helicopter pilots, or B, just experienced people in the mountains, which they are both of those things. But
Yeah,
but the amount of technology that backs up what they do, that goes into the business of finding people both in mountainous,
yeah,
water, rural environments, the amount of work that those guys do, and the way that they can do it in such, I'll be honest, a low funded capacity,
yeah,
is fantastic, and they've all got day jobs. One of them was a paramedic, and then when he's not in the ambulance, he's in the mountain truck, and the stuff that they do for like free,
yeah.
it's amazing. There was this old fella that was out walking with his dog, and I think he tripped and fell and really hurt himself, and no one knew where he was, and no one could find him, but the Brecon people did. So Brecon Mountain Rescue, big shout out to those guys. And like I said, Shona, if you're looking for a buff, go onto their shop and buy one, because every penny that you spend there will go directly to those guys to help them do more of that saving of people.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
amazing. Yeah, so that
100%.
was a little in-perform. Never knew I was going to do that, but yeah, I'm glad I
Yeah, it's
did.
good. No, I like it. I
They're
like I
good
like
people.
those. I like those little segues, mate. Right. What else you got then, Dave?
So what else have I
What else
got?
you got?
So one thing I bought. This technically, well, it's something inside of something. So
Ooh,
this is my very own hiking boot. This belongs
oh,
to me.
I can't believe I've never seen them before. What are they called?
These are hiking boots. But yeah, this is a
Walked
this
into that one, didn't I?
yeah, yeah. This is a Maindel Bhutan. This is my preferred hiking boot. This is my hiking boot. This has done EBC and Kilimanjaro, EBC
Brilliant.
twice, I think, potentially. Can't remember, but countless miles in Wales as well. But actually, this is not what I brought to show you today, even though I am showing you. What I'm bringing to show you for the stocking filler is what's inside. So this, hang on a minute, it's a bit stiff. There we go, and there it is. That will go in a stocking. Excuse this for being a bit manky, but it is, after all, an insole, and it's the Superfeet Trailblazer insole. This is the
Nice.
one that I have now used on. Well, I don't go hiking without it. It looks like a very simple bit of kit.
Looks very well used.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's done hundreds of miles. It actually looks cleaner in real life than it does on the screen, annoyingly. But yeah, this is brilliant. This has taken me to the summit of Kilimanjaro. It's taken me to Everest Base Camp. It's taken me countless miles around Wales in all sorts of weather. And this
Yeah.
combination really has saved my knees. And this is before the knee exploded. This was when what is now my good knee was my bad knee. I used to have trouble with that one. And I was literally talking to Ali about it, because Ali's as you know, the barefoot Yeti. She's an odd one, but I like these, and this has actually revolutionized my my hiking. It's stopped the
Well,
pain
it's
in my
game
feet.
changer, isn't it? Game changer.
Yeah, it's insane, and they are expensive. I'll be honest with you. For an install, they're about £30 to £40, which is a lot for an install. But I'll be honest with you, I pay twice that for the benefit that they've had.
Mm.
Now, try them first, and don't you know, they might not work for everybody, but they really do work for me. The only difficulty I had with it was they come in a size. So I'm a size 10.5.
Yeah.
This is a size F. And then I had to trim it down with a Stanley knife. So I literally put my foot on there, gave myself a little bit of room, trimmed it down, and then tried
Nice.
to fit it in, and it worked. And now that lives in that boot, back in there, job done. And that combination will get you up any hill.
Nice.
Worn, actually.
Yeah, Dave, that's good, mate. You want to get him out there, but yeah, that's, mate, great one. I'm gonna speed things up, Dave, so we can, because I know we got some questions.
Sweet.
This is probably going to be my last one I'll put in the stocking fillers. I have got. This is an obvious one, isn't it? Look at that, the old glovage.
It's a weird mitt, that one.
It is a weird mitt, but it's my skiing mitt, and it's amazing. Black diamond. If you're really cold, like if you're on Island Peak, Aconcagua, these are great gloves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is kind of a newbie for me over the last couple of years, but I wouldn't go without it now. And it's actually a packing cube. So if you can see that, this is just one off. This is an Amazon Basics one. I think this costs £10. And I don't know, as I stand back, you can see the size of it. So you fill these up in your bag, just keeps everything nice and separated. I've always been, you know, I can have my sections of the bag that doesn't have anything around it. But as Dave will tell you, by the end of the trip, it's kind of a bit of a jumble. Actually, at the beginning of the trip as well. But now I kind of use these, and they are brilliant.
Yeah, they've taken the edge off. I'll be honest, I'm not sure they've entirely cured your packing style, but they've made things a lot. But there's levels to this stuff, because Andy is probably, when we used to go trekking together, was probably the most. I don't want to use the word disorganized, because he never went without anything he needed, but it was certainly frantic in that bag. I was perhaps a step up, and then the Bimblin Yetis fella, Tom, he packs with am I right he uses like a laser guided tool of some description. He's got his set square. You know, it's like I've never seen anything, and it was brought to light when we went camping one time, and I was watching two things simultaneously. One was Tom, he's been to EBC as well, was packing his car, and then Andy packing his car. And it was a case of like I like to think that Tom had a set square and one of those laser pointers and stuff like that. And then Andy, it was almost like he piled everything against the car and then ran into it like a cannonball until it just like burst into the boot.
Well, it all got in there and fit in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like I said, it's not disorganized. It's just a little frantic.
Organized chaos, mate. Organized chaos.
But
it felt right to me, you know.
But mate, you didn't. Nothing got left behind.
No. Yeah, just the people.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that's mine. Dave, have you got any, just to kind of round it off? Have you got anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah. The only thing that I'm a big fan of as well, and I've mentioned this before, on my keys, this goes hiking with me. It's just a little thing like that, and what it actually is a little nail clipper by a company called Victorinox, which you've obviously heard from Swiss Army knives and stuff like that, and they're so good. I even bought Fee one because she liked it as well. Yeah, and Fee loves it. She uses it all the time. And these are great. So if you're going on a long multi-day hike, it's important to keep on top of things like that, you know, so you don't rip a toenail off going down Calabatar, because that'll suck for the last 3 days. So yeah, this is what I use.
Joel. I love Joel's comments today. Honestly, Joel, you're so funny, mate. Yeah, I love it. Just your last comment as well. I think around the insoles, I found it easier to just cut my toe off, save me damaging my insoles and boots.
Yeah.
I can see the rationale behind that.
I'll be honest, it's a dedicated approach that I've not yet reached. Yeah, why not? I am down for it. So what do you think, Andrew? We dive into some cues?
Yeah, because we have got a few cues. Anyway, I hope that was a little bit handy. We'll try to have a little bit of fun with the stocking fillers. But yeah, we've got a few. I'll start off because we've got some questions that came in on email, so we'll tackle them first as well. So Michael Casey, I train using an altitude mask. Do you think they help? And is there anything else I can do? So Michael, yeah, with altitude masks, I have to be honest, I've always been a bit skeptical about them. You know, I've seen many people use them. I don't think there's not much physical benefit. I'd say the best, because you can't pre-acclimatize unless you've got like an altitude mask that's like a big tent that you sleep in over a month period, that you can basically get your body to produce more red blood cells. The only thing it really does is reduce the amount of oxygen that comes in. And that is literally like you have to like suck it in using the altitude mask. And not the feeling of altitude. You breathe the same, you just breathe more. And I think the better way of training for altitude, in our opinion, and there's many opinions out there, but our tried and tested way is to get out there, pack on your back, do the mileage, really, sort of get out, pack on your back, enjoy it, get used to walking, up and down, maybe stepping it up 4 to 6 hours, then maybe doing that a couple of times a month, plus maybe doing getting out and doing maybe a little walk a day, and just getting out and doing that is the best form of training, because that's what you'll be doing on trip. I think because it is altitude, and there is a big difference between climbing at altitude to like 8,000 meter peaks and trekking to places like Everest Base Camp. And that's not to put Everest Base Camp down. It's an amazing challenge. I mean, obviously it's something we do, but I think when people talk about altitude training with masks, it's because people wear masks when they're climbing Everest, and it gets a bit mixed. I mean, from a scientific point of view, we were chatting to the guys at the Altitude Center. We have this exact question, and they have the same result. Those altitude masks or the training masks you can get on Amazon, things like that. They may advertise they do well, but personally, I think I'd say, just from an experience point of view, you'll be better if you just get out there, weighted pack, do the mileage, maybe step it up in the gym, and do it that way. You can download some of our training plans as well, mate, because some of them they're kind of built up over an 8-week period, because we found that you could get away with it, step it up 8 weeks before a trip and then go. Don't always say it like that. Some people book 2 years in advance, 3 years in advance for a trip, and there's no reason why you can't start now, and get out there. And there's lots of things you can do. So many ways, but we find just getting out and doing some walking, over distance is the best way. Dave, anything to add on that?
Yeah, when I asked, I specifically asked the Altitude Center guys about that exact, and they said that any sort of, because essentially what you're doing is breathing through a straw with one of those on. There's no real change in effect. You're just limiting the amount of oxygen your body has to do its exercise, making the exercise harder. But any benefit that you potentially get from going through that process is negated by the fact that you're not exercising to perhaps your full potential at that time. So it's like saying I can do a 5-mile run normally, or a 1-mile run with the mask on. And doing a 1-mile run with a mask on may actually give you more benefit than doing a 1-mile run without it, but it's not going to give you enough benefit as doing the 5-mile one that you're also capable of doing. And also a couple of people have mentioned as well, like adding weights to your body will have a far more beneficial effect in being able to train your cardio system to sort of work under load and that type of thing. So
nice.
Noticed a message from Andy Corran. They're both booked onto, him and a friend are booked onto Ultimate Island Peak. Awesome.
Nice.
Super proud that we actually managed to get EverTrekker to the top of Island Peak this year. It's been a long time coming since we last had a summit. And basically saying that, wondering about rescheduling trips and what's the notice we need and stuff like that. So when it comes to COVID specifically, which is what your question's relating to, we understand that COVID doesn't really operate based on any sort of company's terms and conditions. So if for some reason the trip can't go ahead because of COVID, we'll know then, and that's when we'll reschedule you. If it's a decision that you're making, so if it's not necessarily being forced upon you by travel restrictions, but you're feeling like you want to reschedule because you're not either confident in traveling or for one reason or another, we need the honest answer is we need as much notice as you can give us, because it's always helpful. But really, a month before you go is sort of the last sort of time. So if you have to cancel within that month, so within the 30 days leading up to your trip, we're human beings and we understand people's reasonings and things like that, but it does make things a little bit more difficult, because at that time we've already sent all the information over, any funds over to the countries, to the team, the guides, the reservations, the internal flights, the mountain guides, the mountain equipment, all of that sort of stuff is being sort of organized in that 30 days leading up to a trip. So ideally a little bit more than that.
And I think just to tag on, because I think also as well, I know this week especially, there's been some things in the press, especially in Nepal, which we're always a little bit skeptical of, especially from places like Kathmandu Post, things like that aren't always reliable. And I've seen certain posts around it. Is that a potential quarantine in Nepal? Now this, I suppose, is one thing to kind of take note, and historically what they've done, and I think Karen's asked it about it as well, is for anyone that's going sort of next year to Nepal, so they've basically said that they're potentially bringing in a mandatory 7-day quarantine. Now that's the minister, I think a minister of tourism or something like that over in Nepal. I think the fact is that it hasn't been brought in yet. It might be brought in. The good news we got is time, because I know in Nepal they don't like to keep things that long from things they had before. So for instance, if they do bring it in, it might be into January. So if you're going in the spring, it's highly likely that won't be there for that time. And obviously you never know with these things. Personally, from our experience, and I think just from sort of on the ground, if it does sort of come in, like I said, it will be short term. Obviously, that could be extended. We like I said, we can't guarantee it, but that's what we're kind of leaning on. And we're full steam ahead for that in terms of Nepal and running our trips in the spring, because we can't wait. And I think we've got some people in February. So we're kind of hopeful they won't be impacted with that. And I think ultimately anything to do with travel, I think we have to kind of it's that wait and see thing, isn't it? And I feel like we've been broken record now. We've been saying this for 2 years, almost, and it's nuts that we're still here. But it is literally trying to remain as flexible as you can, and obviously if not, and you want to kind of think, okay, like Dave said, if it's not for you and you prefer to have a bit more certainty, then you can reschedule. And in terms of minimum time, as Dave said, give us as much notice as possible. Ideally, anything up to 30 days. I mean, we're always able to help people out, even pre-COVID. We've had people who got denied entry into Nepal because their passport was out, and we were like, geez, don't worry about it, we'll get you on a trip. Like, we don't like to kind of come from that kind of angle. We want to help you out. If you want to get to Everest, we'll help you get to Everest in some way. But we know that life can get in the way. And so COVID has got in the way recently. But we're not going away, and we'll certainly, basically help that happen at some point, hopefully soon as. So and always, as Marky V's put on there as well, reliable sources is always, the official guidance. Don't rely on the press. Certainly, unfortunately, they love clicks, they love headlines, and they do draw attention. But just be wary of it, guys, if you see anything. And this is why we're here, to kind of open that up. And obviously, I know we're going to be closed over Christmas, but we are, some of us will be kind of here, keep an eye on things, and any major changes, we'll definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, awesome. I saw a question from Michael Casey. What make is the airbed? It's a Thermarest, and I believe it's the Neo Air X Therm is this particular one. They do a couple of different ones, to be fair. I bought this one because it's like the insulating one is supposed to be really good. So there's a quick win. Let's just realize it. It's handy. Just tried to scratch off the black dot on my screen and realize it's on the wall.
If I move over a bit, it
is the dot.
You can keep trying. Hopefully it'll get rid of it. Then if I move it over a little bit like that, it disappears.
Nice. And Emily
screws for the insulator, the audio boards.
For the boards, Emily Cathil has asked, how many of those power banks would I use for each?
Good question.
Would use probably 2 of these for EBC. Because if I bought 2, I know that's 100% enough for the whole trek. And then once you're in Kathmandu, you can use your normal outlets, or you can recharge these and stuff like that. But 2 of them is guaranteed to last a whole trip. One of them might last depending on what you need to charge. But if you're using your Garmin watch all every day like I do, and you're using your phone and stuff like that, then you'll probably get most of the trip with one, and then another one will get you to the finish line.
Nice. Just Jerome, are those Santa hats recommended for EBC? Why not?
I'll be honest, I'm very warm. I
think their insulation properties probably isn't as good as some hats, but it's the style factor.
I might. Do I have to keep this on for the entire live, do you reckon, and or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mate, if you're hot, take it off. I'm only kidding. It is rather warm.
It is extremely warm. So I am. I caught my hair.
Dave, wow, look at that. Is it Disney hairstyle day? Is it?
You have no idea how much better that feels.
Bar humbug, Dave.
Yeah, I know, but mate, I love the
Passion,
you
of
know,
course.
I'm pro Crimbo, but I'm also pro Alive, and if I kept that on for any longer, that was not
Brilliant.
gonna not gonna be sustainable.
Let's have a little look. I'm just going through some of the questions just to kind of let's have a little look. I think someone mentioned, who was it? Yeah, Joel, I think, wasn't it? About a serious one, a serious question. Wow, Joel. Do the guides in Killy carry weapons to keep wildlife at bay on the trek? You know what? I never actually found this out when we were there. I don't think, because I know on the Lamosha route that we used historically, there was a potential to get some wild animals there. Um, we didn't see any that were around.
No,
I'm
yeah,
sure the guides do carry some weapons. We didn't ask actually.
I don't
But
not rifles or guns or anything like that. They got a couple of ice axes, but I don't
yeah.
think they come near the populated areas. You know, beyond like we saw monkeys, I guess.
Security
Um,
guards carry them, like they're some of
yeah,
them carry guns, but not like the guides and the porters. Um, but yeah, it's very rare it will happen that they go that far in. But historically it's known to happen, but not for decades now.
yeah.
But yeah, so you'll be fine, Joel.
So Diane, how are you, Diane? Hope all is well.
Hey, Dale.
You're obviously, yeah, we know, a vegan, having difficulty finding good enough walking boots, considering what might work best, even
Yeah.
if not vegan, are the Maindles and narrow fit. So, yeah, do you know what? I've done a little bit of research into this because I had a question a few weeks back from someone on email, and I'll be honest, it's really difficult to find a pair that I could find really good reviews on, both durability, waterproof, and just all round sort of comfort. Apparently, cow peel is the best material, but cow peel and is leather. And but these
I got that.
the Meindl Boutans, I think they're quite a narrow fit, but it
Yeah.
depends on how wide or narrow your foot is. So I reckon, Diane, if you are going to get a pair of boots, these are brilliant. Do try them on first. There is also a
Yeah.
make, Salaway or something like that. Salaway, how do you
Yeah. Yeah.
pronounce that?
They're pretty good for wide feet.
Yeah, they were the ones that I found enough people recommending for me to think, okay, if
Yeah.
I was in the market for some plant boots, then they would be the ones that I would go for. Yeah, very happy for to try them as well and stuff like that. I think, yeah, be very interested to know the results of that, Diane. If you do find a pair, do let me know.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I think I definitely, it could be worth getting out to a place like Cotswold Outdoor, and trying some of the kind of wider ones because they've got a big amount of them, big stock of them,
Yeah,
just so you can check what if any of them fit. But yeah, you're right. There's those Maindles because I've got a pair as well. Yeah, they're not the widest
yeah,
fit, but luckily, like I know some people have got, like you said, all feet are different, aren't they? And I think when the original insoles I did have were a bit too tight, I took them out, put another one in, they were fine. So
yeah.
sometimes, it does take a while to break them in.
I tell
But
you
yeah,
what,
if
ask.
it doesn't
Sorry,
fit,
go on
doesn't
then.
fit.
Fee, do
No,
you
go
know
on.
of any good vegan boots? Or yeah,
That's an
Fee,
in joke.
yeah, that's an in joke. Yeah, yeah.
Between Dave and
I
Fee.
just like to make sure that Fee is getting the food she needs, and you know, she's not vegan.
She does. Right, Dave, we've got a couple of minutes. I think we've covered like heaps of questions.
Yeah,
And yeah, I want to kind of sort of finish it off really because yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I can't believe that we've come full circle now, and yeah, this is the last live of 2021. So how do you want to finish it off, Dave? What should we?
um, yeah. Wow,
I
that would.
know. Usually you have like a final word.
Yeah. I honestly think that it's been
Yeah,
another challenging year. I'm sure next year will bring more the same, but personally, I think that this little bubble that we've created here, I say little,
yeah,
it's actually quite big, even beyond the lives onto YouTube and later viewings and stuff has been
podcast.
amazing. And I
Mm,
think that you guys support each other. I know the friendships have been formed from one side of the world to the other, and I think that's something incredibly positive. And it would never have happened
mm,
if the world didn't kind of get turned upside down and shaken loose. So I think even in the darkest times, even in hang on, there's going to be a good quote in here somewhere. even in the darkest times. But no, but even in those times of struggle and like that, when everybody's really, really, trying to find, a way through, I think the EverTrek and the EverTrekkers in particular have hopefully done that. And yeah, I'm very proud and very humbled by it all. I think it was unexpected. I never ever anticipated that we'd get more than about 10 views for about 2 weeks, and then we'd say, okay, so we did that live, what we can do now? And actually it's become its own thing, and it is fascinating. I think that you guys have pulled together, and it's more than perhaps even these lives now. It's a chance for everyone to come together once a week and feel like they've got a friend next to them. It's great.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. Well, luckily I got a friend next to me who has been with us, for many years. And Dave, obviously, you've been great this year as well, mate. Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
me?
it's been
I
amazing.
genuinely thought you were going to say
well, you're
Penny's
next to me.
here. No, I thought you were going to pick a Penny. No, thank you. Yeah.
No, it's been great sharing this space with you as well, and obviously, and the EverTrek family. And yeah, making this happen was something that, yeah, we, when lockdown came in, wasn't it? And we put into action. We were like, okay, let's see how it goes. And we initially it was just for lockdown, and then we realized that okay, people actually like getting their questions answered. It makes feel we had some feedback that people enjoyed that, rather than maybe emailing us and doing that, they'd rather do it this way. We hope it's been valuable. We'll continue to do it as long as people find it valuable. But yeah, honestly, thanks for being part of the journey with us, and yeah, have an awesome Christmas, whatever you're up to, whatever your plans are.
Jen.
Yeah, I know she'll have an awesome Christmas. But Dave, yeah, it's been fantastic, and yeah, Merry Christmas to you all. I can see loads of messages coming in. Cheers, guys.
And as well from this crazy bunch, there's Fee.
Come on, Fee.
We're saying Merry Christmas.
Deep in.
Lauren.
Where's that?
Lauren's on the phones. There's one. Rosie is behind there, and there's someone. Where's Ali gone? Ali's
probably gone out for lunch.
Oh, she's disappeared for the sign off. Andy,
what about Jen?
Jen, you in the window? Oh, Jen. So I'm gonna bang this. There we go. Wow. Wait for it.
The lesser spotted Yeti.
Say Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Wow, Dave, window.
Oh yeah, and there he is over there. You see? There you are. And
very good.
And Ali, just picture an American going red.
barefoot. But yeah, guys, thanks very much. It's been amazing, and we'll see you in 2022. Let's get back to doing more of this trekking, right? Let's do it.
Awesome. Take it easy.
See you guys. Bye. Merry Christmas.